What's up everyone, Speedy here. In this 1v1 video, we're going to be doing 2 live games as well as 1 replay review. So let's get right into it. Okay, so here we are in game number 1, and this is our first placement game of the season, and of course we get somebody who's throwing the kickoff. That is always fantastic going against somebody who's very underranked, I can already tell. Yeah, totally underranked. 100% this guy's underranked. Season 17 Grand Champ. Wow. Classic. This is a classic reality of Diamond. Nice try on the roll kickoff. Let's get back quickly or fuck up my speed flip. Pretty shitty play on my part. Honestly, I just put myself too close to the play. I can play that better though. All good though. I'm just gonna go with it, even if it's a really bad first placement game. Just overcommit myself to that position once I went to the wall there, and this is the kind of guy who's obviously so far underranked for this type of rank, even on placements. This is something you would see, expect to see pretty often. Let's have another shot on that. Yeah. Kind of trying too hard. Really shitty start. Really shitty start. Nice move to shot that. Better that we didn't rush that play. Could take time. Not bad. Put ourselves on board finally. Gotta really kind of think about my plays more high percentage, especially against somebody who's very, very underranked. So, all good. For the 50. Go for this pad lane. Yeah, that's very little I could do there. Yeah, that's rough, man. Against people that are very much above you in rank, but that's not just placements. This is also, by the way, this is how ones is. Bro, it's really fucking cringe doing that same fake or whatever that is. All good though, it's still plenty of game left. Just take time. Try to get a flick. She gets a piece of it. Try to put one on target. Yeah, I'm doing my best to try to make this like entertaining and also insightful. But I mean, this guy is like clearly better, you know, and I'm doing everything I can. But like, there really is very little I can do. Just defends everything well. Like, it's just a one-sided game from the beginning against somebody who's clearly above rank. But I also have no idea what the MMR placement is so far for literally my first game of the season. All good though. Gave it a good honest shot. That's all I could really ask for. Here we are in game number 2. Yeah, opponent's just overcommitting the position, and they're not really taking time. What they're doing is they're flipping here. Like, they're flipping across, and that creates a major gap. You want to be careful to avoid doing that. Here, I'm going to pop it left. Nice. Definitely a better game, too. Already feels better. Like, this is clearly somebody who's around where I'm at, and I instantly feel like I'm better than that. Yeah, it's just to see how, like, go against somebody who's clearly, like, probably a GC2 or something like that, and then going against this, like, you see the difference in, like, skill disparity. Like, that's ones, man. That's what's crazy about fucking ones, dude. Like, you'll get a game against, like a solid GC who's definitely been playing this game for a solid while. Takes the reset. Oh, thought he was gonna go for a dribble. I guess he was going for a reset there. Speedy, don't give the ball away to somebody. Don't be brain dead. Come on. Good control. Wait till he comes out. Should have known better. Come on, Speedy. It's gonna tilt me, dude. Just putting myself in a really shitty spot. Come on. Get the mental right. Good control. Really need to work on this ground air dribbles. Gonna early chow that before he gets control. Just gonna try to come off wall here. Really poor challenge. And I went from 3-0 to 3-4 because I'm playing like a fucking terrible player. I love it. Just letting this guy walk all over me. Is that what I want? Come on. It's not to shoot. Not getting this free space. That's why. Oh, never says again. Let's get it right. Better. Surprised I didn't get a reset out of that. It's gonna kind of like slip across on the corner. Not playing confident. Don't turn across somebody like that. That's an easy way to get scored on. Nice. Yeah, don't do what he did. Like, it's a really big mistake to, like, cut across like that. Puts him in a bad spot, GG. Here we are in the replay portion of the video. And I'm not going to lie, decision-making wise, this was definitely a not great game. There was a lot of decision-making errors and just not great plays. Things that, like, obviously I could work on, improve from, and learn. Kind of understand better about, like, how to kind of just be aware of space and also recognizing not being over-aggressive into a bad position. Just kind of like an awkward position here for me. Actually don't get that boost. Do a good job of at least staying close with the play. Opponent has to leave a bit. You could have actually pressed that more. That's a poor touch. That's a mistake here. No need to go for the jump there, honestly. Just a better cut here, and then into like a single jump pop after the ball has bounced would be probably a bit more appropriate, because then you could set up for a bump play. That would be a bit higher to work with. That's a fine bump here. Don't have to flip there. No need to flip. Because I flipped, I made that awkward and didn't really take the time I needed to. Yeah, realistically, that play definitely could have been a lot better, especially with that mistake coming into the wall play there. Just that needs to be touched up. It's a good early jump. Opponent trolls that. I think they were trying to half flip and they didn't complete the actual movement. It's a good shot there. Let's get an early lead going. As you'll see a little bit later in the game, I start throwing that lead away, just playing stupid, just making bad mistakes and putting myself in really, really not great positions, as you're going to end up seeing pretty soon here. This is awkward. I didn't have to come in as fast as I did because I came in like so fast. I also like realistically, if the opponent were going to shoot, I was trying to cover for that, so that's fair. But because the opponent missed, I had a very small window where I probably could have actually slowed down just a tiny bit more and gotten better control. Because realistically, if the opponent was turning a little bit better, you could have actually shot that. That would have been open behind me there. I don't mind that. If I want to go for a shot, the thing is that I need to not be doing like a right directed shot. I need to be doing a shot that's set up a little bit more from the right, but not towards the right. So like here, I'm coming across and gliding across this way, which is what's causing the ball to pop that way. What I could do instead that'd be different is get a slightly wider cut and get more of like a hook shot, just a single jump hook shot basically, just to keep it like fast and low, and then you'll be able to get it close to this side of the net more accurately, away from the opponent's side, but in a position that is shootable. This should have gotten me scored on. Honestly, didn't really connect with the bump. How close was I to the bump here? Not very close here. So I thought I got like a bump here. That's so unfortunate. Just behind. I had absolutely, this is a big decision error right here. There's absolutely no need to go for a bump. This play, like legit, I understand the need to go for it, but the opponent is flipping away. I need to recognize that sooner by their boost usage. They're not paying attention to me. They're paying attention to just getting back to a position that's safer, because they're not in a place where they can actually like follow up on the play, so they leave. Because I have the possession in here, I have a clean and completely free possession that I just essentially compromised completely by trying to go for a bump here. I understand that I was frustrated this game. I understand that I definitely, today's video, felt frustrated going against people that were really tricky. That's usually how placements go. You will always, it seems to be a kind of meme in ones, is that you start your placements off against like a GC2 or like a GC3 almost. Somebody who's obviously not in this rank. Obviously not in the rank they should be, rather. And that kind of just starts things off really rough, you know, and then it's just kind of like trying to recover. So even though I'm maybe playing well, for relatively speaking, I put this pressure on myself and make it harder. Here, just no need to play this so fast. Like, again, I'm rushing myself through decisions. There is a such thing as playing fast but not aware. This is kind of one of those cases where I'm just playing fast without really giving myself thought. I do like that I give myself time to try to set up a shot, but honestly, if I was just a little bit more to the right here, that would have been totally fine. That's a good bump here, relieve some of the pressure here. No need to give the ball away, honestly. A power slide cut to the right into like a cut here on this side, trying to force it to a better position across would be definitely suitable. Even like into a hook shot would be better, but that kind of like almost was like a half-assed shot. Just puts the ball into a very easy spot, and I overcommit here at this point, and then the opponent gets a free goal. Why did that happen? Because I, again, gave the ball away. This is going to be a common theme in this particular game that you're going to see, is that I'm putting the ball into bad space. I do get a goal here off the kickoff. I get a good kickoff here. I force it left, and then get the immediate response goal. So it ends up okay, but it's still not. It's not an outcome that you want. I could easily been 3-0 instead of 3-1. And the game's complexion changes significantly from 3-0 to 3-1. As you're going to see with the coming goals here, the game ties up and becomes a lot more difficult for me to kind of maintain essentially my own momentum. Ones is a game of momentum. Opponent seems to have also like multiple times just gone for that setup here. I like that touch. I don't mind that. I do get scored on. That bump should have definitely, absolutely gotten the kill here. I guess not. Damn, dude. Really just close margins against this guy. And at that point, overcommit. Frankly, I really thought I was going to get the bump here. That bump, like, it's frustrating. I was, like, legit the tiniest increments on multiple bumps from getting it. I get scored on the kickoff here, so of course the game ties. So now it's in a really shitty position. I overcommit here to this position. I need to recognize a really, really important fact, is if you're in this position here, you need to recognize immediately. You have boost, but you do not have position, you do not have possession. Get the fuck out of that spot and go back to cover. There is a very easy boost path here. You can go path, pad, pad, and then pad, be full boost by the time that person starts getting in the air, and then you have time to make a judgment of how you want to defend it. There are other ways you can go about it, but that is just one method. When you're in this position and you do not have this pad here, and you know you don't have this pad, and you're far away from it, do not have momentum, do not just simply try to chase after it. The opponent does get a fortunate touch here. They didn't mean for this touch here. It actually sets them up really well. I can tell it wasn't necessarily intentional. They're just trying to front flip towards the boost, and they ended up hitting that. But whether or not they get that touch does not matter. What matters is the fact that look at where I am. How do you think I'm going to save it from this angle? And if you answered there's literally no way, then you're correct. There's literally nothing I could do from this angle to prevent any kind of shot or any kind of counterplay, or even to set up a counterplay. When you start the playoff and you get boost and these pads here, as you're shadowing and being aware, the opponent now isn't going to get that immediate momentum, and they're not going to be able to shoot because you're already covering. You're already in a position where you can now say, instead of being here, I'd be right over here. Oh, he's shooting? Okay, cool. I just simply pop it to the side here, boom, like that, and now have a free ball in my corner that I could work with, and the opponent is committed to my half instead of now being scored on once again. You see how the game's complexion changes from small decisions? Well, this is how this game went. This is all based on small decisions. This is all based off me putting myself in bad positions, and this is what matters. Ones is a game of momentum. You have to play it. It's an unfortunate miss on the shot. Can't really get a follow-up shot there, unfortunately, but all good though. This is okay. Always try to be careful when you're in this position. This is an awkward position to put yourself in. I did well to kind of keep the momentum. Do not flip here. If the opponent did a better job of seeing the space, they would have recognized I did not have control here, and that separation easily could have resulted in a possession play being towards the opponent's side. Essentially what that means is like the opponent would be able to then challenge for that play, and because it's going towards their side, they can make a challenge that's higher percentage than what I could do. Also, do not try to cut across for the bump here. This is a really stupid decision. Again, what you see, a bad decision. That's the common theme in this game, as you can see here. Don't go for those bump plays if you do not have a position where you can actually make the bump. If you are already on the side of somebody and slightly in front, you're not going to be able to get to a position where you can really cut across as much as you want while maintaining momentum. It's hard to maintain momentum and be turning. The more you turn, the more you lose your speed. The more you turn, not only do you lose your speed, you also lose that extra momentum that's going to be necessary for you to actually be able to achieve a proper bump. Not just a bump, but also potentially a demo. These are all things that matter in ones. Putting yourself in these bad positions against better players, and that's no insult to this player here. They're a decent player, you know, similar skill range as I am, but a better player, that first opponent I went against, this opponent would absolutely fucking destroy me because of that. That's just the nature of that. I'm not gonna lie, I wanted to shoot this and just like bring it in the net, but it was so awkward for a moment because like here, I did not want it to like drop, or I did not want it to float on top of my car. I was trying to get it on like ahead so that way I can just bring it in. And when it came up that way, I was like, well, this is kind of like sketchy now, and I don't have enough momentum to be able to bring it out. I like that I take the time to stay in control here. The opponent can't challenge because he sees that I'm staying close to the ball the whole time. This is a bad play, so you want to be careful about the landing here. So this play up to this point is good. but you want to be careful about popping the ball like this, because that separation is what the opponent wants, and you're creating the separation that the opponent now is doing what is called a challengeable play. So they now can challenge for that play, and it becomes really dangerous. So just be careful about that. I don't mind the pressure here, that's fine. It's not necessarily totally on net, but it does put pressure back on the opponent, but it also gives them possession. I don't mind that aggression. Opponent tries to go for more wall play. It's fairly predictable wall play. Have to be careful here. I almost get beat, but what you want to do here, I'm also trying to watch for a bump. That's why I was in this position, just kind of trying to be careful about it, because oftentimes people will go for bump plays. Here, just swing it left. You see, like, instead of cutting across into like a place where they could really get the play they wanted, they put it in a place where it's like, it's challengeable for me. But I could see that play, and here I recognize I actually had discretion for a change this game, or I actually like recognized I was clearly gonna not have a play there, and I backed off. Here the opponent goes for a flip reset. Not a very good position. They're actually, from this position you can see, like, they go for a reset from a super awkward, and this is a really big mistake a lot of people make when they're winning resets, is they feel like they have to fucking spin the entire time. It's not necessary. Because they're spinning, is making this way more awkward than it needs to be. Keep it simple. Use only the rotation you need to get set towards the angle, and then go for the reset when you know it's high percentage. And then when you get better at it, you can make that process flow better and faster and more optimized. But just simply twirling around in the air while doing that is a really big habit that I see a lot of people make. It's something I specifically have made a point to avoid doing. It's really easy to make that mistake. That's a bad touch here. I could do a better job here. What you want to do is, like, once you recognize you have this space, you don't have to flip right. Try to flip left. If you can, flip left, or even just single jump so you can get a control touch. A control touch is even better here. Opponent has a bit of momentum, but they're behind the play. Just a control touch forward, like here, into a shot is totally higher percentage, and it also is in a position where I can actually follow up the play, and it becomes a lot easier to get a scoreable shot. So again, this is an awareness issue and something to try to keep in mind. Because of this, I rush the play. Don't get the right bump there, that's fine. Here I recognize, instead of like double jumping into it, just gonna keep it simple, just a single, just essentially a single jump challenge. Decent empty jump, very much low percentage play. In this case, look, the Toby low boost and in a bad position. And this was just, I'm not gonna lie, this is a complete disaster class. This is like a tiniest little step away from a complete disaster class into a master class of a play, as you're gonna see here. Really great backflip flick, and then just rip the shot center post and get myself a goal and win the game. Did I win the game? Yeah, but did I win the game that I honestly could have played? I could have played this a lot better. There's a lot of market improvement that I can make here in these moments, and it's not to do with settings, it's not to do with switching cars, it's all to do with the mentality going into the game, it's all to do with the way I treated this game, it's all the way with how I did or didn't adapt to different situations within this game. You're going to find yourself in a lot of these positions where you're not cutting in a position like you should be, or you're not being patient like you should be, and you're flipping more than you should be. They're going to be in these positions where you're going to make these mistakes, and you need to learn to recognize. The better you get, you'll learn to recognize that further and further, or rather closer and closer in the moment, and with less time. You won't have to look at these mistakes in replay reviews. You'll understand when you make the mistake instantly and how to recover from that, or just simply not make the mistake at all. That being said, if you enjoyed watching this video and like me to review your games, feel free to let me know in the comment section down below. I'd also like to ask you to hit that like button, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Speedy Man out.